Hello and welcome to the third video for this online course for Excel. And here we will start working with the same data that we had in the previous video, and we will see how to obtain a new function that will show you how to go even a bit faster or how to make things a bit shorter. But the sense here is just to learn that we have several functions that, despite in this course we won't go deeper into those functions. As you keep on learning during your studies, you will see that you can search for different for several functions for different functions that will be helpful for you. So the goal here is not to learn all the functions. Indeed, it is very difficult at times to remember all the functions that we have in Excel, but we will see a function that is closely related to what we have done in the previous video. Okay, and if you remember here, we obtain the total turnover per month regardless of the categories we have in our electronics store. Okay, so if you remember, the total turnover per month was 50,600 euros. Okay, and here we had obtained the average price regarding the price per unit, and here the total amount of units sold during 1 month. Okay, so I'm going to spot cell E8, and I will go back to the insert function icon. I will click on this icon, and then here I have the formula builder, and now I'm going to look for the sum product function. Okay, in my case, it is recently used, but maybe the first time you try this with your laptop, it will be the first time it will appear. So you will click on all, you have here the function, okay? And before clicking on insert function, let's think about what we have previously done. In the end, what we were doing here to calculate the turnover per month on each category and then to compute the total turnover per month, we were multiplying the number of units sold per by, excuse me, the price we had here. Okay, we're multiplying units per by the unit by the price. Okay, so we obtain 16,000, 22,000, and 12,600. Okay, and then we did the sum of those three quantities. Okay, but in a sense, we were doing a multiplication and doing a sum for each category. So that's what we are going to do in just one step with the sum product function. Okay, so let's insert the function and let's see that here Excel is asking for data. It's asking for the range of cells that I would need to introduce to compute the total turnover per month, regardless of the categories I'm considering. That is, the total turnover per month, considering all the categories. Okay, so here we have array 1, and I will consider the units for each category. This is like considering a matrix. Okay, so that will be my first matrix. Then I will go for the second array, and here I will consider the price I have per unit for each category. Okay, so once I have defined the the range for the cells on each category, I will click on done, and as you can see here, I will obtain the same result. So going back to the first steps we took when doing calculations, that we were manually introducing the formulas, we were typing down on our keyboard all the data we had on each case. Here you can see that just using one simple function, okay, and in just one step we can obtain the same result that we had been working on in the previous video. Okay, so it was, as I was mentioning before, the key point here for you is to know that you have lots a lot of functions available on Excel, and that you will get more and more familiar with them. That is, the more you use Excel, the more functions you will be familiar, and you will be able to use different options and just to work in a faster way when using Excel in the in different subjects that you are going to face during your studies at our university. Okay, so once we have seen this last function, and just to wrap up what we did with this data, we are going to change to sheet 2, and here, as you can see, we have data regarding number of companies both in Spain and in Madrid. And this data refer to several years. We start with 1999 and we end up in 2020. Okay, this is real data. This data was obtained from INE, Instituto Nacional de Estadística. This is available data. You go into their website, and I have prepared this data for you. And what we are going to do now is just to start working with plots, with graphics. Okay, so first of all, when working with graphics, we need to select what data I'm going to consider for my graphics. So in this case, let's consider the total number of companies in Spain throughout all the years I have available information. That is, I will start in 1999 and will end with 2020. Okay, and I will refer this graphic to Spain. Okay, so once I have done a selection of the information I want to plot in my graphic, I will click here on top left on the option of insert. Okay, so now you see that the ribbon on top has changed, and here in the middle I have recommended charts and different options. Here I have column chart, hierarchy chart, line chart, statistical chart, pie chart. Well, I have different options. So let's start with line graph. So if I click on line graph, here I have different options. Okay, so I will go with the first one. Okay, and I will obtain this graphic. Okay, so here you can see that on the horizontal axis I have the years. Okay, and on the vertical axis I have the number of companies. As you can see here, we see that there is a trend that is telling us that the number of companies uh, is becoming smaller and smaller as we keep on advancing through time. That is, okay, in, for instance, in 1999 we had more than 1000 one 133,000 companies. Okay, and if we check 2020, we had 63,000 companies, roughly 63,000 companies. Okay, so here you can see how we have obtained this graphic. Okay, and it is giving us a general tendency. Okay, and as you can see, this is what we would consider time series, because we see how the variable we are working with, in our case the total companies in Spain, is changing through time. Okay, so once we have obtained the graphic, if we right click on our mouse, okay, we can see that there is an option that we can change the chart type. Okay, so let's see what happens if we change to column. Okay, and we will choose the two-dimensional column. Okay, we would obtain the same graphic. Okay, but it is presented to us in a different way. Okay, let's consider an additional change. Okay, here let's go to for instance, column, and now let's go for a three-dimensional. Okay, so as you can see here, we have different options. Okay, we will go back to one of the line graphics, and in this case we will use this one, where we have here those blue dots are the values that I have in each case, and we have a line that is plotting all the values that I have. What happens if I want to keep on working with this data, but I would like to move this graph to another sheet? Well, I can click on Move Chart, okay, and then here I have chart one, but I can use another name, okay. I can call it Total Spain, okay, and here I can tell the software, Excel software, to move it to sheet 4, okay, for instance. If I click on OK, I can see now that this is on sheet 4, okay, and here I have the graph I have already obtained, okay. I will go back to sheet 2, and here I have again free space to keep on working with the data I'm considering right now. Okay, so that's all for this video, and we will continue working in the next video. Thank you.